Hello and welcome to my senior project. My name is Chloe Adler, and this semester I will be graduating from Cal Poly Pomona with my bachelor's degree in psychology. Shortly after graduation, I will begin my master's program in occupational therapy at Loma Linda. And my desire to become an occupational therapist was actually the driving force for my senior project, being on occupational therapy and hippotherapy. So I'm very excited to share with you a little bit more about the field of occupational therapy and physical therapy. To get started, super important to know in this whole project is what occupational therapy and hippotherapy is. And so occupational therapy is a medical field that is evidence-based and holistic. If you've never heard of it before, occupational therapy is quite similar to physical therapy. A term that's important and differentiates occupational therapy is the term occupation, which stands for an activity that a person needs to or wants to do. So if you're an adult listening to this, some occupations in your life may be washing the dishes or driving your car. And if you lost the ability to do those things, an occupational therapist could come alongside you and help you gain those skills back. Another example for pediatrics is that if a child doesn't have the motor skills to play with his or her friends, an occupational therapist can work on different activities that helps a child get back to playing with toys with his or her friend, because that is a super important occupation for children to do. Hippotherapy is a subfield of occupational therapy, and it's also used in physical therapy and speech and language pathology. Basically, patients ride horses to build the skills that they need to reach the goals and do the occupations that they want to or need to do. I was able to go to a pediatric therapy center in Norco and volunteer and go with occupational therapists to do over 80 hours of work. And in that time, I was able to see how horses and patients can have an amazing connection that allow patients to work toward their goal in amazing ways. And that brings me to my next point, that one of the biggest benefits of hippotherapy is the use of the horse. Research has shown that horses could increase enjoyment, the ability to control negative emotions, and even enhance well-being. Another cool thing about horses is that they could even be a natural antidepressant. In my experience helping with hippotherapy sessions, they also have been able to help patients focus on reaching their goals better. I often saw patients who were in need of learning self-regulation have an easier time doing self-regulation on top of a horse rather than in the clinic. Another part of my senior project was creating a research proposal on differing enjoyment levels in clinical occupational therapy sessions versus hippotherapy sessions. Research has shown that enjoyment plays an important role in physical activity, in the participation of it, and in learning. And so I wanted to create a proposal that examined how therapists and patients enjoy occupational therapy in different ways when they're in different settings, or the different settings being clinical versus hippotherapy. And so I was able to write this research proposal that I may be able to do in the future since I'm going into the field of occupational therapy. I hope that through this presentation you've learned a little bit more about occupational therapy and hippotherapy. And as I wrap up, I just want to give a special thanks to some people who've really helped me on the way. For instance, Dr. James Sturges was an amazing senior project mentor, and I'm very thankful for his support in finishing this project through a pandemic. I also want to thank Juan Choi, who is there for every student to make sure that they have the tools to succeed, and Leaps and Bounds for allowing me to go and shadow so many occupational therapists, so many different days to gain firsthand experience with occupational therapy and hippotherapy. Also, if you're listening to this, I want to say a huge thank you for listening to this project, and I hope that you've learned a little bit more about this field that's so important to me. I hope you have a great day.